keep getting limited on my speech time. I don't know why.
And you're done.
Is a binder?
Yeah. Thank you. Have a great night. All right. A wise man once said that the best man's speech was only supposed to last as long as the groom can make love. Well, thanks, everybody. Have a great night. I'm just kidding, Brett.
Oh, that was my
Brett, I want to
relationship.
thank both Nikki and you for this great honor. I couldn't have asked for two better friends or cousins now. Which reminds me, I haven't formally introduced myself. My name is John Delyden, or according to WeddingWire.com, those of you that have looked, Master of Ceremonies. Well, I'll let you guys decide after the speech here. But like I said before, cousins. Brent and I were born in the same month of April, 20 days apart. Yes, Brent is older, but I am clearly wiser and much better looking. Brent and I went to kindergarten together where we were kings of the beanbag chair, and no one else was allowed on it. We were what you would say, inseparable. Every weekend we would spend time together with me always driving down my battery-operated monster truck down to Brent's house, or running. Brent always asked me, he's like, why don't you ever walk? He's like, you always have to run. And I simply replied with, Brent, if I walked, I simply wouldn't have enough time to spend with you. Or at least that's how I remember.
Typical.
But after that, Brent went on to finish elementary, middle, and high school in Ellsworth, whereas I stayed in Plum City. But being as it may, we found each other again in River Falls, where we both majored in business, and instead of being kings of the beanbag chairs, we were kings on the softball field, along with several other groups of men out here and people watching today.
Naturally.
But enough about the past. Let's move on to the present. Today, two very great people in my life said I do, for better, for worse. Which is kind of funny when you think about it, being that Brent, you couldn't have done any better. And Nikki, you sure could have done a lot worse. And in saying that, I just want to say, Nikki, you look absolutely gorgeous tonight. Wouldn't you all agree? Brent is truly blessed to have you in his life. I would also like for the parents to please stand for just a moment. Don't worry, it's nothing bad. Alright. I would like to give both these parents a huge shout out for raising such wonderful, caring, charismatic people, and for helping them today with their setting up for such a beautiful rehearsal dinner last night, wedding today, and reception now. If you would all please join me in raising your glasses for both Nikki and Brent's parents. But enough of the formalities. Brent, I want to give you some words of advice, or in this case, phrases to be aware of in marriage. 5 to be exact, because Nikki only limited me to a 10-minute speech, and I have to leave at least 5 minutes for applause at the end. For all the men in the crowd, you will agree with me, if you're married or dating, there's a whole lot more than 5. Let's be serious. The first phrase you will hear, we'll talk about it later. Brett, I'm sure you have heard this from some of our other friends' wives, or at least I have. You know who you are. A few of them sitting up here, the tables are on. But when this happens, you know you're in the doghouse. No matter what you do or say the rest of that day or night to butter her up, meaning buying her drinks, shopping with her, buying her jewelry, complimenting her on how she looks, like I did earlier, it won't change a thing. You're going to talk about something, and it's not going to be good. The second phrase, do what you want. So you've all heard it. Let's say you tell Nikki, I'm playing in a softball tournament this weekend, and she replies with, do what you want. In your head, you're thinking, all right, sounds good. But she really means, you're damn mind if you think I'm okay with that. Because Because first off, you didn't even think about what I had planned for this weekend. So beware, Brent. This phrase is very bad for you. Third is just one word, and that word is fine. You've all heard her say it before, right, men? Right? All right. This word is very tricky, Brent. She may be fine only about 10% of the time. The other 90%, you better dig a little deeper for the true meaning. Because if you don't, you might as well be ready for phrase number 1 to come back up. We'll talk about it later. And finally, the one word every man in this room has heard and hates. Whatever. Every man has heard this word from their significant other, and this word has numerous meanings, positive or negative, and can follow or lead into any of the previous phrases or words, like, whatever, do what you want. Or, whatever, we'll talk about it later. So at all costs, Brent, avoid this word whenever possible, because you will hear it, I guarantee it. And when it comes, be ready. But all jokes aside, I again want to thank both Nikki and you for this tremendous honor. I couldn't have asked for 2 better friends, and I couldn't be happier for both of you. You two both complement each other so well, and I know you will always be there for each other to the end of time. I will end today with a quote that I believe personifies their marriage along with many marriages out there today. So if you would all please raise your glass one more time. You don't marry someone you can live with.